boys and girls, we're back, and this is Read Aloud 2. So remember, we had started reading Little Red Riding Hood, and we stopped, and I said we'd pick up at Read Aloud 2. Are you ready for the second part of Little Red Riding Hood to see what happened to Little Red Riding Hood and that wolf? All right, let's pick it back up. Well, Little Red Riding Hood followed that voice into the bedroom. The curtains were closed and it was very dark. And Grandmother was wearing a floppy nightcap, and the blankets were pulled up over her nose, and Red Riding Hood moved towards the bed. Grandmother, your eyes look very odd. Why, Grandmother, she said, what big eyes you have. Oh, the better to see you with, my dear. Come closer so I can give you a hug. Red Riding Hood took another step and saw two odd triangles peeking up under the nightcap. Oh, Grandmother, what big ears you have. The better to hear you with, my dear. Can you come a little bit closer? Just then, the blanket slipped from Grandmother's face, revealing 2 rows of very sharp teeth. Grandmother, said Little Red Riding Hood, what big teeth you have. The better to eat you with, said the wolf, leaping out of Grandmother's bed. Oh, boy. Look at Little Red Riding Hood's face. She's frightened. Scared. Red Riding Hood screamed, "Oh, no!" And she ran out of the bedroom, through the main room, and into the kitchen, slamming the doors behind her, and she clambered into the cabinet and yanked the doors shut. Oh, why didn't I listen to my mother, she thought. If I hadn't stopped in the woods, I wouldn't have met the wolf. And if I hadn't talked to the wolf, I wouldn't have left the path. And if I hadn't left the path, I wouldn't have been late to Grandmother's. Then none of this would have happened. She's right. She didn't follow the rules. Consequences. In the kitchen, she could hear the wolf calling her, "Where are you, Little Red Riding Hood? There's no need to hide, by which I mean I'm going to find you and eat you no matter what." Just then, something crashed, and a voice yelled, and dishes smashed, and the sound got louder and louder and wilder and wilder. And then all of a sudden, everything was quiet. Do you remember what happened? Little Red Riding Hood peeked out from the cabinet, and there stood her brother with, do you remember what that was he had in his hand? You're right. It was an axe. He had an axe in one hand, and he was helping Grandmother step out of the wolf. "Thank you, dear," said Grandmother. "It was very dark in there." The brother looked at Little Red Riding Hood, and he said, "I knew you wouldn't listen." Little Red Riding Hood scrambled out from under the cabinet and gave her brother a big, big hug. "You were right," she said. "I'm going to listen from now on." Then Red Riding Hood and her brother and the grandmother all sat down to eat the treats in the basket. Apples, grapes, yummy, nutritious treats. I like that book. It's a very good book. All right. So we're still doing Read Aloud 2, and I thought that we would read our song that has to do with counting and frogs. Do you remember that song? Here they are. The 5 green speckled frogs. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. 5 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are, how many? You're right. 4 green speckled frogs. Glump, glump. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 3 green speckled frogs. Grump, glump. 1, 2, 3. 3 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 2, 1, 2, 2 green speckled frogs. Glump, glump. 2 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there is 1 green speckled frog. Glump, glump. 1 green and speckled frog sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 0, no green speckled frogs. Very good. Before we go for second read aloud, I have one little more treat. One guest that wants to see you. He's furry. He was in the book we just read. He was pretending. He was a stranger. Do you remember who that was? Here he is, boys and girls. Do you remember him from our classroom? Remember, his ears were shaped like, what were they shaped like? Boop, boop, triangles. Bye, boys and girls. See you soon.